Hey everybody, this is Thomas Vieira, owner of the ever-changing Stat Padford, and you're listening to the official league podcast.
Okay, let's do that again, but just be better. All right?
Hey everybody, this is Thomas Vieira, the owner of
but
the
now,
Better
now
Than...
don't slur your S's and your V's.
Hey everyone, this is Thomas Vieira, a.k.a. Better Than Taylor's Team at Fantasy Football.
All right.
And you are listening to the official league podcast.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome to the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League Podcast with your hosts, Taylor LaPrairie and Joe LaFever.
What's up, guys? This is not Joe. This is Taylor actually saying it, which is a new thing for us. Joe is out today, but I am joined by one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Dr. Thomas Vieira. How you doing, Tom?
Oh, I'm just great.
Yeah. Dude, I will say, I really mean it. You are one of my best friends. As soon as I got out of work today, I called Thomas. We've been on the phone already for 2.5 hours, and we're ready to record. Do you remember when we first met, Tom?
Yeah, I was backstage at the Wharton Center, and since then I've just been kind of hearing about Taylor's woes ever since.
Yeah, I've been just using you as
he met me.
It's a punching bag.
He met me. He didn't like me, or so he thought. He was like, this Thomas guy really just doesn't like me very much, and I'm just not going to be friends with him. Smash cut. 8 years later, here we are.
Okay, that is one side of the story. The other side of the story, yeah, it is true. I met Thomas backstage at the Wharton Center. It was the Spartan Youth Wind Symphony concert, and Symphony Band was performing. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then I met you, and I knew Travis, our dear friend of the show, Travis Good. Travis introduced me to you as well as I think Joe, Pujan, and Tim. I think it was meeting the members of the quintet or whatever. But I met you, and he was like, "Yeah, I think Thomas marches Crown," and I was in the process of auditioning, and I said "Hey man, it's so great to meet you. You're auditioning for Crown too, right?" He's like, "Yep." And that was all you said to me. And here I was this young, aspiring, wannabe Spartan and wannabe Crownie. And you were just yep. Little did I know that's just who you are. And one-word responses are very common. But it started our tumultuous relationship.
Yeah, it was kind of like that intro that you just did. Here's my dear friend, one of my best friends in the entire world, Thomas. How are you doing? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
Putting it on full display for everybody. Yeah, and then we marched Crown together, and I remember talking to you, got me through college. So what an ode to our friendship that we're starting this podcast off. But we got a lot of things coming your way. Got some name changes. Very excited for those. Obviously, some waiver pickups. Lots of spending going on this week. I was very surprised by that. We got a bunch of stuff. We got a little game that we're going to play later as well. All right. Well, before we go any farther here, we got to do a little drink check.
Can you get me another beer, please?
So, Tom, can you give me another beer, please? But you're going highbrow here.
Yeah,
show us what you got.
I figured I would throw a little curveball at you guys. I'm doing a little red wine, doing a little red blend. This is History. Let me see if I can block out the light here. Go a little YouTube on you guys. This is History. It's a red blend.
2019, it's a good year.
2019, great year for red wine and Paso Robles. Notes a little cherry, a little blackberry, a little tobacco on there. But
you're swirling the glass. Now, I don't know if you guys all have experienced Thomas, the absolute connoisseur of all things alcohol, but your palate is incredible. I'll call you about coffees and stuff like that, but then you talk about bourbon. You can hear I'm getting notes of In-N-Out Burger and shoe polish. It's incredible the things that you're able to taste? How did you get the palate that you have?
I think I just drink a lot, and I also throw random things out there and see what sticks. Like, I think we were talking earlier before the pod, and I was smoking a cigar, Mel Tucker type vibe.
Tuck coming.
Yeah, Tuck coming, baby. Let's go green.
Go away. Nice.
And I was like, man, is it weird? I'm getting this like really strong like Smucker's grape jelly on the cigar right now. And if you're a cigar person, it's not the first thing that you taste. So I'm really not trying to be an elitist. It's a fun journey.
It's just who you are. You're an elitist. It's just who you are as a person.
Well,
Now, speaking of the Spartan Dogs, currently 5-0, currently ranked 11th. Is Michigan State back? It's like Texas is back, but is Michigan State back?
You can't say they're back until they beat Michigan again, right? I mean, we've got 2 trap games coming up against Rutgers, the State College of New Jersey, and who are they playing? Indiana?
I believe Indiana,
Rutgers
yes.
Yeah, with Michael Penix, with an X, Jr., coming off an ACL. One of the higher regarded QBs in the Big Ten. So it's going to be tough to get around those 2 teams. But if we can, I really like our chances against Michigan. They've proved to be one-dimensional, can't pass the ball, big run team, big Big Ten offense. But we'll see. What do you think?
I mean, you know me. I always like to sandbag because I don't want to get hurt. I want to. If anyone's gonna diss the Spartans, I want it to be me because I can't take it if somebody else does it. But I do think that the recruiting is going to be a lot better here. And I don't know. I don't think I have like unrealistic expectations. I'm not like a Michigan fan that's like, we're not in the playoff. Like, what are we doing? Like, come on. But I mean, I think we're like looking to be like a solid 8-9, sometimes 10-11 win team again. I think that's not outside the realm of possibility. I just don't want to be the team that loses to the bad teams and then loses heartbreakers to the close teams. I don't want to play down to an opponent, and I don't want to get my heart ripped out anymore. So I feel good. I feel good about where we're at. I'm also feeling good because I'm drinking a good segue right there, a Red Bud, another Berliner Weisse. I don't know how you pronounce it. I already forget. But it is a sour, and it is the same beer I drank last week because I am very boring and I don't purchase a lot of beer. I'm not like you, Tom. I don't drink 3 glasses of bourbon every single night. I'm not like you.
It's 1 glass on school nights, my friend.
Let's start off with some name changes. Number 1 up here, we have RB Handcuff Heroes changed back to Stat Padford. Can we get the inside look from the general manager, Thomas?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Is it broke, though? Because, I mean, neither of us have won a championship yet since we've both been in the league here. Is it broke?
Well, I'm holding out hope. Haven't missed the playoffs yet.
Very true. Always in playoff contention.
I have been thinking about adding a request to the rules for next year's league to be whenever you want to change your name, it costs you $10 fab. I think we should change that rule in honor of myself. Call it the Thomas Vieira rule.
Yes. Or who? Yeah, I mean, maybe do that for Kelsey. It also seems like Evan changes his name about every 5 seconds. So I think that might be a good switch. Another name change here. We got Fresh Prince of Bel-Air changed to Urban Meyer's Marriage. I saw that this morning and I started laughing so hard. Yeah, dude. What a mess. What are your thoughts on the Urban Meyer situation?
It's not great. It was funny. We were talking the other day, and I was like, "Hey, Taylor, have you heard about this whole Urban Meyer thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't think it'll make it through week 4 in Jacksonville. He's just, he's not producing on the field. Players don't seem like they're bought in." And I was like, "No, Taylor, what do you think about Urban Meyer?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I had to break this news to him.
Yeah, no, it was breaking news, truly.
And I sent him the link, and he was like, "No."
Yeah,
he was just reading.
Yeah, I think that the line on my side went dark for about 3 minutes while I was processing because I am an Urban Meyer fan. Yeah. All right. Well, we also have some waiver pickups here. We have Herbert and Step Gibson picking up Damian Williams for $71. Drops his boy Tyson Williams. Didn't he acquire him in a trade?
I think he also picked him up for a high dollar amount in free agency.
Insane. What do you think about Damian Williams for $71? Is that an overpay, underpay, or just right?
I mean, I got to think that Kelsey is just tilting here, right? He picks up Tyson Williams for a bunch of money. That doesn't pan out, so 2 weeks later he's on to the next, running back that's going to save the day over the next 2 weeks, and it's going to work out. So I don't think it's a long-term play, but it's definitely a play.
Yeah, treading water at the bottom of the West there. Urban Meyer's Marriage picks up Dalton Schultz, $25. That is quite a lot for a tight end. We'll see if it works out for him. Urban Meyer Marriage also picks up Jamison Crowder for $16. Big pickup for Jamison Crowder. Everybody wants a piece of that Jets offense right now. We also got I was like holding for applause there. I don't know why. Teddy Bruschi's picks up Trey Lance for $5. I have Trey Lance in another league. I actually think I might drop him here, but who knows? We'll see. It also seems like Kyle Shanahan hyping up Brandon Ayuk, and then all of a sudden Deebo Samuel, and then it's like we're all this hype around Trey Lance, and then it's just been the Jimmy G show here. When do you think Trey Lance plays, if he plays? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the reason that Joe picked him up was because Trey Lance is questionable for this coming week. So that would go right in line with what Joe has done over the past 2 seasons, where he picks someone up that I drop after 3 weeks, and then they go on to go absolutely off like Justin Jefferson did last week. So that would just totally make my day if Trey Lance becomes like the QB3 for the rest of the season.
That would be a typical Joe move. Collusion Kings, last one in waiver pickups, picks up Dawson Knox for $23. Did not know who Dawson Knox was when I saw this. I was very surprised by it. But correct me if I'm wrong, is it the Bills tight end? Is that what it is?
It is, yeah. And it just makes me more glad that I picked up Travis Kelce in the first round, because I don't have to mess around with any of this.
Absolutely. And we're going to get to this also a little bit later, but I picked up TJ Hawkinson in the 6th. Still very happy with that. But it was really between TJ and Gus Edwards. So I am happier and happier every week about that decision. We got a trade alert. I'm going to throw this one over to you. We got a trade alert. Give it to us, Tom.
Yeah, so the Collusion Kings trade Herbert and Step Gibson, James Conner and Robert Woods for T. Higgins. So for me, James Conner is really a sell high candidate this week. Had a big week last week, but hasn't really done a whole lot in Arizona. Robert Woods could have upside, but really should be on the bench right now, which means he'll be in Kelsey's starting lineup. And T. Higgins has been injured the last couple weeks actually, but looked good before that. So seems like a win for Evan.
I am just shocked here because Evan has been the hardest person to trade with, it feels like, in our league by far, and he's had 2 trades go through. So very, very surprised by that. All right, let's get into this past week's matchups, a little matchup recap. All right, we're starting off strong. Stat Padford defeating Urban Meyer's Marriage, 135.3 to 109.95. All right, Thomas, the floor is yours. Let's take your victory lap here.
I will say Terry McLaurin had a big week, 30.3 points. Saquon got 2 garbage time touchdowns, one at the very end of regulation and then one at the end of overtime to actually win the game. That's when I kind of knew it was all locked up. I was really nervous until then. I think Saquon had 8 or 9 points total going into the end of the game, and I was just ready to have another disappointing week with Saquon, and then here we are.
Yep, shaking in your boots. Yeah, I see that.
Yep. Derek, to his credit, his running backs are looking strong. Derek Henry, the Yeti, 25.7, and David Montgomery, new nickname RIP with 22.6 points. So the future in the backfield's a little bit questionable for Derek there.
Yeah, well, good thing he's got Derrick Henry, who literally looks like he has two running backs in one person. I mean, the dude's huge, getting huge numbers. I think he's going to be all right. Dak Chubb Show defeats Step Gibson, 164.6 to 87.9. Kelsey, what is going on? First sub 100-point showing all season? Come on, dude. But within that, Dak and Tyreek have big weeks. 28.9 for Dak, 47.6 for Tyreek. Just insanity. And Devonta Smith, looking good for Kelsey. All right, he's got something working there. We love to see that. Next up, we got Lick at My Staffy defeating my squad. It's never too latener. 140.8 to 113.4. Very disappointing for me. It really was not that close the entire day on Sunday. I just kind of was watching my team fold beneath me. That was a tough one, not gonna lie. And it sucks that I'm not able to support the West Coast heroes in the East West Bowl. Do you have anything else you want to diss on me right here, Tom? I mean, I'll allow it right now.
I mean, you did say on the last pod that your floor is 120 points.
Okay,
so, my
it was
team
6.5 less than that. Like, you cannot lambast me for that. Come on.
Let me quote from last season. My team is good. I have a solid team. My floor, I will never ever score less than 120 points. 160 points on a good day, but I will never get less than 120. And then here we are. It's just a disappointing show on all fronts here.
Yeah, I should have let you finish. I'm sorry for getting all heated there. I don't want to. I want to be a man of my word, and I got to take it when I lose like that. Collusion Kings defeating Teddy Brewskis. This one was real sweet to watch. I mean, Joe, love you, but you're not here. I can say this was awesome to see. 159.75 to 100.5, just barely breaking 100. DJ Moore absolutely going off. 31.9. Austin Eckler also going off, 29.5. You got some choice words here for Tony Pollard, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Tony Pollard, 6.7 points. That, Joe, if you're not a math guy, I know you're a music guy. I tell my kids all the time, I teach music, not math. That's less than a tenth of a point per dollar that you spent on Tony Pollard. So I hope you're feeling good about that one, Joe. And fun fact for you, Joe, in case you haven't been following along with your team, everyone on your bench that was active outscored 3 of your starters. So I'm glad that you are the expert leading the way on the podcast in the league.
I'd love to hear it. I love it. All right, hashtag 2-time defeats Hyde and Zeke, 141 to 101.45. Pat Mahomes, 5 tutters. Absolute insanity. I had one of my kids in my guitar class come up to me and said, I have Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes in the same league. Who should I start? Well, and I was like, first of all, how in the world do you have Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes on your team? Like, is it a 3-team league? But I told him Pat Mahomes, totally paid off for him. He gave me a high five today. Really set the day off right there. Deontay Johnson, 24.2. Zeke and Calvin Ridley, looking great for Tim, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a battle of the inconsistent teams over here. Sometimes Pujan will show up, sometimes Tim will show up. This week, Pujan showed up. Got nothing but love in my heart for the man. But the man doesn't have a post move that he can commit to memory more than twice. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that's so good. All right, standings in the East. In the first spot, we got Look at My Staffy, 4-0, which is so annoying. But Kevin, first place. Collusion Kings in second, 2-2. Also tied with that record. Hyde and Zeke, 2-2. In fourth place, we got the Dak Chubb Show, 1-3. And then in last place, our only winless team, Urban Meyer's Marriage. Just like the Jags, Urban Meyer's Marriage, 0-4. That's a tough one. In the West, in the first place, the co-host for today, Stat Padford. Can I get a woo-woo, Tom? No? All right, sounds good. We got second place. We got hashtag 2-time, also 3-1. In third place, don't know how this is going on, 2-2, my squad. Fourth place, Teddy Brewskis, also 2-2. The host of the pod. We're going down right now. We're going down, but not all the way to the bottom. Kelsey, that spot's reserved for Kelsey. Fifth place in the West, 1-3. You love to see it. All right, let's get into some power rankings. Hot conversation about the power rankings this week between Thomas and myself. We're starting off in the 10th spot, where we have Derek, although we disagreed here. In the 9th spot, we had Kelsey. Now, you had this order flipped, Thomas. Explain your reasoning here.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, Kelsey is just the junior varsity team. I mean, he's going to go out there. He's going to start Robert Woods. He is the Alpena of the Big North Conference in Michigan. Traverse City Central, my school, is going out, and we're going to face Alpena. And I had a little trash talk with Kelsey, and I said, we're going to give you guys a hard time. We're going to rough you guys up. And he's like, yeah, you are. You guys are going to kill us. Our quarterback is literally 4'10". And I was telling my kids about that today, and they were like, how is that even possible? They couldn't find anyone in the school that was better at quarterback than that person. And I was like, I don't know, maybe he can really spin it. And, that's just a good analogy for Kelsey right here. I mean, maybe he can spin it. Maybe he can't. He's just not it. Derek, even though he's 0-4, there's hope. I have hope for the team. There's a long-term prospectus.
All right. That's fair. Oh my gosh, we got to get a JV league for Kelsey. We got to get like a feeder drum corps, but like a feeder league for our league. We'll have to send Kelsey down into like the farm system so he can figure out how to do this whole fantasy thing. Coming in 8th, the Wiener, Dak Chubb Show. Marshall comes in at 8th. Thomas, you got a great one-liner teed up right here. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing my power rankings, I had this, I had the Wiener right in front of the marriage. Every time happens. The Wiener gets ahead of the marriage.
Marshall coming in 8th, and then Urban Meyer marriage in 9th. Wiener's getting ahead of the marriage. In the 7th spot, Hyde and Zeke. We got Tim. Kind of in the middle of the road. I think we both agreed that we had some disagreement in the bottom 3, but Tim solid in 7th. Right here, we had some more disagreement. This is the way we ended up deciding it. Pujan in 6th and Evan in 5th. Now you had this flipped. Let's hear some of your Evan hate right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Evan has all the right things going for him. He's got the team. He's a shrewd businessman. But Pujan, at the end of the day, wins. And that's all that matters in fantasy football is, do you win or do you lose on that Sunday? Who puts up points? And it seems like more times than not, Pujan's team puts up points and Evan's team lays a dud.
Very true. My reasoning was just simple, points for. Evan's ranked 3rd currently in our league in points for, behind myself and Kevin. But then you got Pujan way down in the 8th spot when it comes to points for. So that was kind of my reasoning. Coming in the 4th spot here, we've got Joe, a fall from grace. I believe 2 weeks ago he was in the 1 spot. Now he's in the 4 spot, just injury riddled. But he's making moves. Spending millions of dollars on Tony Pollard. So we'll see what happens. And then in the 3rd spot, I disagreed with this one. We have yourself, Thomas, in the 3rd spot. I don't know why you don't believe in yourself. I had you in the 2nd spot here.
Part of me just needs to be the fighting Mark D'Antonios. If there's not a chip on my shoulder, I am 100% going to lose.
Okay, so is that why you get on Joe for putting you like number 10 in his power rankings? You're making up that fact just to motivate yourself?
No, that's an absolute fact, and I will stand by that forever. Joe, you can take it to the bank. The only reason why I didn't have number 10 in Joe's power rankings, plural, was because there wasn't enough characters to write an S. I was literally 1 character short, so I had to put it number 10 in Joe's power ranking, which made me very upset.
I can tell you're visibly shaking. In the 2 spot, it's myself. But coming off a loss here, sitting at 2-2, I don't feel so good about that ranking. And then obviously in the number 1 spot, I don't know how this is happening, but Kevin's squad, 4-0, leading the league in points for. Only had to make 3 moves on the waiver wire. I will say in points against, though, No, it's still pretty good. He's 4th in the league. So he's doing well. He's doing well. Kudos to you, Kevin.
I mean, Deebo Samuel ending up as the wide receiver 3. Who would have thought? And same thing, Mike Williams off the trash heap. Like, Mike Williams was like
Left
Mike
dead.
Jones.
Yeah.
It's like, who? Who cares? But, here he is.
Well, that is a good segue. Now, we don't have a drop for this right here, but this is a good segue. We're going to play a little game here. We're a quarter of the way through the season, so it's time to look back and reflect on the past. We got some hot and freezing cold takes. We're going to go through here. We're going to say who the hot pickups were at the draft, who seems to, at this point in the year, seems to have some major steals in the draft, and who had some freezing cold pickups. Overpaying. We're trying not to talk about injury too much because obviously, with C-Mac, like, it might look freezing cold right now, or I'm sure there are better examples, but due to injury, we're trying to leave that out of it. Just based on their production level, the amount of usage that they're getting, was it a hot pickup? Was it a freezing cold pickup? Thomas, start us off with one of your hot pickups from the draft this past year.
Yeah, so one of my hot pickups, as I alluded to earlier, is Mike Williams in the 11th round from Kevin. He's, the wide receiver 5 on the year, and just, extrapolating that was going to be the case, I wouldn't have believed you on draft night. So that's a great pickup.
Yeah, and my first hot take or hot pickup here is Deebo Samuel, also in Kevin's squad. So right after the draft got over, I called Joe. Joe's is also, just like you, Thomas, one of my main fantasy therapists. So I was talking to him, and he's just like, so no Deebo Samuel? I was like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, well, the pick right before Kevin took him, I really thought that it was locked in that you were going to go Deebo Samuel. I mean, that's who you've been taking in all of the fantasy mock drafts all year. And I totally tilted. I totally didn't trust myself. I forget who I took instead at that point, but insanity from Deebo Samuel. Like you just said, he's a wide receiver 3. Absolute studs in the wide receiver position.
And especially on the 49ers, right? So much inconsistency with who's throwing him the ball in the offense, in the game script. Just unbelievable. My next one is actually a hat tip to you, Kelsey. Even though I dunk on you all the time and I try my best to make you feel bad. J.D. McKissick in the 15th round, for him to be the RB30 and get real production and to be on your starting lineup. I'm not saying a lot, but he's in your starting lineup. He's the RB30. He's a legit RB2, and to get him in the last round is great value. Nice job.
Yeah, I'm sure that Kelsey saw, he's the RB30. He's available on waivers. Must spend. Must spend up to get that kind of production. One of my hot takes. This is kind of like an obvious one. I mean, maybe you think I'm cheating the system here, but Derek Yeti Henry in the first. Now, again, he picked him, I think, 4th overall or something like that. But still, the dude is just insane. I don't know why. I mean, I packed right before, and I grabbed my boy AK Alvin, but Derrick Henry just doing it again. I mean, the dude just absolutely gets fed. There's no end in sight. I mean, the team is terrible, but he's the RB1. It's probably going to be the way it is for the rest of the year. Good on you. Good on you, Derek.
And, I got to give it up to you here, Taylor, with Cooper Kupp in the 5th round to be the wide receiver 1. I nearly spit out my coffee when I was listening to the last podcast. When you told Evan, Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 1, Robert Woods, wide receiver 40. Your thoughts? It's just like you took a 50-50 shot on Cooper Kupp and you hit big. So good on you. 5th round, great value. If we would have known he would have averaged 30 points a game, he would have been gone in the first, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, especially in the Rams offense, it's so productive. I'm geeking out over that pick. Now I just need the 2 wide receivers I picked before Cooper to start, acting like even a wide receiver 2 at this point. And then my final hot take here, Tom Brady in the 13th. I think this is going to go down as the steal of the draft. Pick up in the 13th, Tim. He's currently QB4. Yes, coming off that really terrible game against the Pats. Terrible for fantasy, at least. But just to get, again, a QB in the 13th, to have that kind of production, And I mean, that's even the second quarterback on Tim's team. I mean, he's absolutely buried. Like, what a value. Might need to trade for Tom Brady before this podcast is released. All right, now we're switching over here to some freezing cold pickups. The people took in the draft that just look like absolute dog right now. Take it away, Tom.
The first one I have to say is my main man, Pujan. Brandon Ayuk, a.k.a. Brandon Ayuk, in the 6th round.
See what you did there. Good.
This is not great, Pooch. Wide receiver 91 on the year. Not your finest moment. Not a Tariq Cohen, but not your best.
The Tariq Cohen. That is going to go down in infamy. My freezing cold pick, A.J. Brown, taken by Evan at the top of the 3rd. Currently the wide receiver 78. Now I know, yes, he's injured, but still, it looks terrible situationally. And I'm gonna couple this one with his Robert Woods pick the next round later. Currently wide receiver 40, just absolute terrible when it comes to his wide receivers right now. AJ Brown, it's like it's Brown in my pants right now. That's got to be killing him, burning a hole in his IR spot right now.
I got next up. I got Will Fuller in the 8th with Derek. We've all been burned. Raise your hand if you've been burned by Will Fuller. Pick him up in the mid rounds. He's so talented.
You fall for it.
You fall for it every time. But he's consistently hurt. He's got no quarterback this year, and it's just that you just don't see the path to production. But Derek was the one. I see it. ADP, click, 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 click. As it comes down to you, you see Will Fuller right at the top, and it's hard to pass on him. And this time, Derek was the one.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, who would ever pick somebody that's on the Dolphins squad? I mean, who would ever? Oh, my next freezing cold take, Thomas. You took Myles Gaskin in the 5th. Dude, he's the RB40. What were you thinking? Explain yourself.
I thought Myles Gaskin would be... I was trying to go RB0, and I was trying to just get pass catchers. He was going to be the next James White.
Yeah, totally.
And then he got 0.3 points last week. Good thing I benched him.
Are there tears in your eyes right now? Do I see tears welling in your eyes?
I had big beliefs in the gas can, but did not pan out. And I am all out.
Gas can't right now.
And then I would say Taylor to come back at you. I mean, Clyde in the 3rd round. I mean, the RB like 32 or 33. I mean, just been inconsistent, been scripted out of games. He's not really ever going to be scripted into games. The Chiefs are never going to be up big. Everyone's going to play their A game against the Chiefs. They're always going to be have to throwing. They're always going to have to throw. Oops. Can I get an oops drop?
Yeah, let me. It's hard right now. I'm trying to do the drops. This is usually Joe's thing. Let me get it here.
Oops.
There we go.
They're always going to have to throw. He's just not going to be in the script. He's not going to be getting those yards, getting those catches. It's just not in the cards for him to be drafted that high.
Yeah, that Clyde pick, I regret so much. Thank goodness I have Darrell Henderson right now, but the Clyde pick that really hurt me. And I've also got Clyde in another league, and it's really sucking right now. My final freezing cold take, Allen Robinson in the 4th. Marshall, the wiener whirling, taking Allen Robinson. High hopes. I think he's like finished in the top 20 the last 4 years. Currently the wide receiver is 60. I mean, what is going on with the NFC North? Everybody that you thought would be productive outside of Aaron Jones, absolute trash. It's so tough right now. What are your thoughts on Justin Fields? I don't know who has him in our league right now, but what are your thoughts on Justin Fields? Do you think he can make it work for Allen Robinson?
I think he can in the NFC North. I mean, you and I were talking about who has the worst division in football. And I think it might actually be the NFC North. Nobody is good. Nobody is solid week to week. And just, Allen Robinson is super talented, but he doesn't know who he has throwing the ball to him, and it's just not a good situation for him. He needs to be traded at the deadline and moved off to a contender.
So who would you say has the worst division in football? I say AFC South, because it's got Jags, Titans, Colts, and who's the fourth team in that division? Texans. I say AFC South. Who do you got? Do you got them too, or if we're gonna rank the divisions based on strength right now?
Yeah, I mean it's either them or the NFC North. I mean, you've got teams that don't have hope, right? At least the Green Bay Packers have hope, but none of the other three teams, Lions, Vikes, Bears, like
it's over.
They're either destined for the middle or they're destined for the bottom. Where, with the Colts, they've got hope. The Titans, they've got hope.
Hope. Hold on. Hope for the Colts. Are you just saying that because you're a former Indianapolisian? What's
Indiana police? No. I mean, they've got Quentin Nelson on the offensive line.
You're right. They're one left guard is really just the hope of the team. What are you talking about? They have Carson Wentz. Their defense is terrible.
They've got Darius Leonard leading that defense. They've got a GM that you trust, right? With Chris Ballard, he's going to be he's a top 5 GM in the league. And he's going to construct a good roster. He's going to draft strong, and he's going to build the team from within. Versus these other teams, you got freaking Mike Zimmer. You got Martha Firestone Ford. You got...
Hey, she's a great lady.
You got nobody in Green Bay. I mean, the people are running the town. It's a revolt over there.
Yeah, it's tough. So those are our freezing cold takes. Allen Robinson especially. Absolute freezing. Might as well cut him from your roster. All right, let's get into some pigskin pick'em, a little review. Thomas is actually playing right now. Thomas and Pujan currently tied for 11th. Love to see that. Very good. Do you know what your record is right now, Thomas, off the top of your head?
I think I'm 9-8. Last week I was one game better than you, which is ironic because we picked together.
That's true. We didn't pick the same, but we did our picks together.
That's true.
Very good. Next notable in the pigskin pick'em, Evan tied for 7th. Derek is in 10th. Derek, we're lacking some consistency here in the pigskin pick'em. Come on, my dude. You got to get your picks in. And then coming in at number 2 spot, you got your boy Taylor, Christian LaPrairie. And then coming in at number 1 spot, still Joe. That irks me big time that Joe's still in the number 1 spot. I got to do something about that. Coming in for our web matchups this week, we got some Lock It Don picks of the week. Thomas, take it away.
My Lock It Don pick of the week is the Cardinals over the 49ers -5.5. To me, we don't know who's starting at quarterback for the 49ers. Cardinals are just on fire. I think they cover that 5.5 easily.
For me, my Lock It Don pick of the week, I got the Chiefs against the Bills. It's at the Chiefs. They're 2.5-point favorites. I don't know. I don't see the Chiefs starting off 2-3. What do you think?
I don't know. I think the Bills come in there and they lay one on them. Because, like I said earlier, I think the Chiefs get everyone's best game. I think the Bills are going to come in there and they're going to want to beat the champs. And they're going to give it their best shot. Josh Allen's going to go off. Defense is going to play great, even though I have Travis Kelce. And I think the Bills are going to get it done. I think that is my upset of the week.
Yeah, and that's for me my Lock It Down pick of the week. It's got to be the Chiefs. I think coming off a bad start of the year, playing the Bills. It's in Arrowhead. I got to go Chiefs here. And then my upset of the week, I'm picking the Browns at the Chargers. Chargers 1.5-point favorites. Come on, got to give me the Browns here. I mean, they don't even need to pass the ball. Their running game is insane right now. So I'm taking Browns. I think my record right now was 3-1 on the upsets. Looking to be 4-1 here. All right, let's take a look here at the coming matchups. All right, some matchup preview. We got Pujan versus Step Gibson, Kelsey's squad, 3-1 up against 1-3. A true fight to the finish here in the West. It's getting cutthroat right now. We're starting to eat our own. Any thoughts here on this matchup? You want to take a little guess here? What's going to happen?
I mean, the man who shouldn't win but keeps on winning versus the man who doesn't win. You got to take Pujan here.
Currently, I believe projected here 9 points ahead of Kelsey's squad, but also currently empty in the tight end position. He's got Logan Thomas sitting in that painful IR spot. I'm also going Pujan there. Next matchup, we got the Collusion Kings taking on Urban Meyer's Marriage. The winless. Is this the week? Is this the week that Derek overcomes and gets his first W? What do you think?
I mean, it definitely could be, right? Evan is the inconsistent king in the league right now. He doesn't win when he should, and he wins when he shouldn't. So I think Derek definitely has a shot here.
Yeah, well, after that massive pickup of Dalton Schultz, the maybe tight end 2 for the Cowboys. I guess he's the tight end 1, fighting those Blake Jarwin targets, and also Jamison Crowder. I mean, come on, again, the Jets offense playing against the Falcons. He gave me a piece of that. That is obviously sarcasm, and I will take Evan's squad.
Well, Taylor, I feel like that's not fair because it's not only America's team, but it's your team. I feel like you, of anybody, would know Dalton Schultz in his prolific career of work.
That is not true. I am not a Cowboys fan. Where did this come from, by the way? Where did this come from that I am a Cowboys fan? I mean, I am a fan of some teams that I know like to be hated. Big fan of the Duke Blue Devils. I did grow up as a Yankees fan. But where did this thing about I love the Cowboys come from?
I think it was the MSU dorm rooms. When you said verbatim that you were a Cowboys fan and that your dad coached, I don't know, Tony Romo's kid or
No.
Troy Aikman's kid or
no. So the story at least is like when my dad, he got his first job teaching. He was at Trinity Christian Academy, where currently Tony Romo, his kids attend that school, but it's like that kind of clientele, that private school kind of life. But my dad was a basketball coach for the high school, and the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, his son, my dad coached, and so my dad ended up like becoming friends with, his name is Norm Sanju. You can look him up, Norm Sanju. But my dad ended up meeting with and becoming friends with some people who would play pickup basketball games in Roger Staubach's driveway. So my dad is like a huge Cowboys fan. I had to watch a lot of Cowboys games growing up, and I hated watching them because they were always so average, and they lost most of their games. So I'm not a Cowboys fan. I am a convert to the Skull life, which I wish I could take it back. I mean, the Cowboys look great right now. Anyways, moving on. Next matchup, Dak Chubb Show, 1-3, taking on Hyde and Zeke. We love to see that. Is that our game of the week? I mean, average versus also average. What do we think here? Is that a game of the week? Are we trying to save that?
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, Tim Wright is the projected points hero right here. Projected to be 140 this week. Although I will say 4 of his players are currently questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that Marshall could definitely boom again. But I think Timp is the more consistent team overall here.
Going Marshall. Love it. Well, we've got the duel of the podcast hosts, the Teddy Brewskis, playing at It's Never Too Late, or it's a home game. I got the home crowd advantage here. Both 2-2. I think I'm currently winless against the Teddy Brewskis. They always seem to get the best of me, but we shall see what happens here. And I believe that this has got to be the game of the week right here. Stat Padford, 3-1 at the top of the West, taking on the top of the East. Look at my staffy. East versus West. You are the best that we have to offer here, Thomas. You got some smack talk?
Somehow.
You got some smack talk you want to lay down?
No. I mean, I respect Kevin's team. I think that they overperform, but I think that they consistently perform. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing, but here they are. So it's like one of those bands that, you know, is a small Class A school, comes up to a show, just absolutely kills it. Great teaching, great coaching, and I think Kevin's got a strong roster here. So I'm not looking forward to playing this game. I need my players to boom. I need Travis Kelce to go off against the Bills, which is going to be a little tricky. And I need Josh Allen to get absolutely shut down, which won't happen because the Chiefs' defense can't stop a nosebleed. So that's going to be tough for me.
So when you're saying about Kevin's squad that he's underperforming, so who on his squad are you saying that's underperforming? I mean, Josh Allen, I think he underperformed like in week 1, but then he like scored 40 points the next week. I mean,
did I say under? I meant over. Overperform.
No, I mean, okay, so yeah, overperform. And maybe I misspoke there, but like, who do you say is overperforming? Like, you say that they shouldn't be booming. Who do you think should not be booming?
Melvin Gordon, coming off 2 bum seasons, should not be the running back 18. Deebo Samuel
should not be
the wide receiver 3. Darren Waller should not be getting 14 targets a game. Chase Edmonds being the running back 12. Are you kidding me right now? In a split backfield.
Yeah, what is going on?
To be the RB12, right? To be a legit RB1 in a split backfield. What are you talking about? And then Mike Williams to be the wide receiver 5. Like, Mike Williams, the possession catch, super strong, big body receiver, only really valuable around the end zone. For him to be averaging 20 points a week and to be the wide receiver 5. And not even to be in the 2 starting spots, right? Because he's got DK Metcalf and Deebo Samuel in the 2 wide receiver starting spots. So he's just going to, flex the wide receiver 5 on the year. Are you kidding me right now? All of those players, I mean, Josh Allen, stud. Dalvin Cook, stud. DK Metcalf, stud. Darren Waller, stud. But, like, other than that, he's got nothing on his bench, which is fine, right? We've had this conversation. You don't need anything on your bench. You just need great starters, and you need to not have injuries. And right now, he has great starters, and he doesn't have injuries, so he's winning the league. Surprise, surprise.
Sure.
But we'll see. I mean, Kareem Hunt, # living on a prayer. Cordero Patterson, living on a prayer.
RB3. What is going on with? Yeah, you say like should not be perform. Like you picked him up and he said well, RB3.
I picked him up for like $8, and I don't think anybody else bid. And here he is, RB3 on the year, and then I'm stuck with Chuba Hubbard. I could start Kenny Golladay. I could start Marvin Jones. But, I think Chuba's in line to go off against Philly's weak front 7 here this year.
Yeah. Come on, Chube. We believe in you, Chube. Well, that's going to do it for us here. So excited that you were able to join us for this week. Tom, so good to see you, as always. One of my greatest friends. And I just cannot wait to see everybody else on the podcast in the coming weeks here. Everybody, hope you're having a great week. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck. May the fantasy gods be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League podcast.